You know who it is, the horror flick, Digger did, Super 6, Big Mitch. And I'm kicking in doors with 03 O's, and I'm bringing 28 101s because we Vegas sons. It's the metal lands. It's the metal, man. Hubba dub. What up, scrub? Don't get drugged. I'm on dubs. Yeah. Y'all already know what it is, man. Welcome to Vegas Chronicles. Um, Today, I'm gonna answer questions like people ask me questions and I answer them. But to the ones that's been following Vegas Chronicles, I've done a lot of videos, talking about the streets. It's a lot of things I didn't get into because, especially when it comes to click banging, I don't know nothing about click banging and too much about that. So once I get my podcast up and running, I can hopefully bring people on here and they can talk or give history on that, because I don't know too much about squad wood and all that. I'm before that. I don't know nothing about that, so I'm gonna have to get people up here to speak on that because for me to even try to attempt to speak on that, it would be a horrible fallacy, and I'm not gonna do that. But what people, someone asked me, and I'm gonna nip this in the bud here about the GQs. As far as who put the Crip handle on the GQs, I don't know. Pap said he did. Now, I'm not a GQ. I don't know. About the GQs like that. I know how. I know about Vegas, but as far as the GQs and how they formed and I know who started the GQs, but I don't know who put the Crip handle on there. Now, if Pap said he did and the GQs co-sign that, that's on him. I can't say one way or another, and I'm not gonna say. As far as Pap's concerned, I know him from the joint. I never knew or heard of him on the streets, and in the joint, to me, and this is my opinion, he never displayed those type of leadership qualities for me to believe that he put a Crip handle. Because to me, the way that he was treated in the pen that I can see, he wasn't treated like nobody that started nothing. He was treated the exact opposite. I'm just keeping it real. I know him and his brother Mark Wesley, and I'm not gonna even get into Mark Wesley. I got a video on him, and you can go back and it's titled Mark Wesley, and it speaks for itself. But as far as Paps is concerned, I don't know nothing about that. But he did lie when he said that the GQs became Crips because the Ace of Spades rode bikes down there and was coming to their parties. That's a lie. The Ace of Spades didn't ride bikes. They had, like I said, they drove LTDs. So that was a lie. So I don't know how, someone like that could bring a Crippin out here to Vegas or anything like that. But anyway, that's their story. But the GQs did come out as became Crips as a reaction to what the Gershon was doing. And why they chose to become Crips is because I guess that was the most, what was popular back then. Blood and the concept of what blood was hasn't came to Vegas by then. Just Crippin'. So when Crippin' came, the GQs was the first ones to grasp a hold of that, and from that, Crippin' was here. But GQs are not responsible for the rolling 60s. See, and GQs, according to regular states, are not responsible for them becoming Crips. So how did the state Playboy Gangsta Crips become state Playboy Gangsta Crips? They said that their influence wasn't GQ, and so does the Crip City Gangsters. The Crip City Gangsters say that their Crippin' didn't come from GQs neither. So who did the Crip City Gangsters get their Crippin' from, and who did the state Playboy Gangsta Crips get their Crippin' from? That's the question, because if they wasn't influenced by the GQs, who was they influenced by? See, them is important questions too, because not everybody in Vegas was influenced by the GQs. The GQs were populating a lot of areas, and it were responsible for a lot of Crips becoming Crips, like the Sydney Sioux GQs, the West Side GQs, the Undercover Crips, places like that. But regular states and Crip City and 40 block where the 6 O's went, and other places like that, that's not that's not influenced by the GQ. So where did they get that influence from? And that's a question I want to put forth out there to someone that can answer that, like HP, Big Alexis, or any one of y'all out there that can answer that question. Where did the state Playboy Gangsta Crips get their crippin' influence from if they didn't get it from the GQs? Where did Serpo and the OGs get their crippin' from? Did they get their crippin' from the GQs? You see what I'm saying? So I don't know, somebody enlighten me, you know, but moving along, I want to get right into something, man, that's been bothering me, and it's the amount of death that's been going around. I know y'all been feeling it. I just lost a little friend. Rest in peace to John Moore, man, in a car accident, man. My deepest condolences to his family, man. Him was supposed to get in the weight pile, in the weight room, man, and work out, man, and and he ended up passing away, man, a couple days ago in a car crash, man, and I just want to send my deepest condolences. Also, I heard that a childhood friend of mine, sister passed away, Randy. Man, my deepest condolences. I heard he lost his sister, and I want to send my deepest condolences to his family. And I want people to understand something, man. People never know what a person is going through mentally. A lot of us, have suffered so much loss, and not just, in this game, but in general. And, this game, and being involved in it and what comes along with it, it takes our attention off what really should matter to us the most, which is our family. Because we get so caught up into these streets and we look at our homeboys as our family. We invest too much in our homeboys and in our neighborhoods and what we say we claiming and stuff like that, and then we get sidetracked from what's really important to us, which is our immediate family, like our brothers and sisters that's not involved in what we involved in, and we never truly get to know them like we should, because we so involved in the homies BS or in our BS with the homies. Cause this gang banging thing, man. I mean, this. If anybody ever truly gang bang, then you know what I'm talking about. If you was involved in this life, not this new stuff, this new whatever is going on out here in these streets, this is not Vegas, and this is not what we was brought up under. I know what we was doing was bad. When we was out there in them streets gang banging, I know what we was doing was bad. I mean, I watched, when I was in the penitentiary, I watched J-Wack, J-Mac, Lil Mike, and Shiesty Wack come to the penitentiary. A 15-year-old, two 14-year-olds, and a 13-year-old come to the penitentiary. And they put them youngsters around a bunch of killers, rapists, murderers, all that, man. So I know how turned up it was on the streets. But that's what I'm saying. You see how we get so caught up into that? That lifestyle. That by the time we really realize, what we've wasted time on, then we start losing our family like that. And once you really think about it, you never really get to know, like me, I don't really know my brothers. I don't. And that's sad because I've been gone so long, in the institutions, and being in and out of institutions growing up, I never got a chance to know my brothers, my own flesh and blood. But I know my homeboys, my so-called homeboys. I know them better than anything, but I don't even know my own brothers. You see? And by the time I got out, I was in my 30s, late 30s. You see? And I'm still trying to heal and grasp a hold of normality of being in society after doing 20 years and going through that. But before I even did 20 years, I was in and out of youth institutions because I was in the streets gang banging. I don't even know my brothers. I don't know my moms like that. I don't even know my family. I didn't know who I was because I played this character named Sheepdog, a demon. Some people even call me Manson. Dig that, huh? Manson. But I played these fictitious characters of stupidity in these streets, strung out on Sherm, walking around there with bloodshot red eyes, a curl that looked like a perm, man, in a hot trench coat with a 12 gauge, drinking night train, 13, 14 years old, in a hot ass trench coat. This is what I was doing on the streets. And I was in and out of institutions because I didn't get it. Getting in the shootouts with dudes that was old enough to be my uncles, some of my fathers. Trying to be like other dudes in my neighborhood that was too old for me to hang around. But since I was little sheepdog, I got a free pass. See? The only reason why I was able to go places that I was able to go, the only reason why I was able to see the things that I was able to see and be around the people that I was able to be around, it wasn't because I had some special talent. It was because of who my father was. It was because of who my father was. And I'm going to tell you something. Being a little kid, I was 12 years old. And you know, I ain't no putting on nobody on blast because we all got choices. But I want to show you something. When you say you like my father, a lot of people got respect for my father because of his hand game. He gave so many people the hand game. He taught so many people how to fight. People say they respect my father and they got love for my father. They got all these stories about my father, right? Well, when you see his son and you telling his son about all this stuff about his father and how his father was this knockout artist and how much respect you have for his father, why would you give his son PCP? Because you seen my father smoking. So why would you assume that I wanted it? Why would you give it to me? See, when I first got when I first ever smoked PCP, I was 12 years old and I smoked it in Haney Circle. And an OG gave it to me because my dad used to smoke it. He told me to come in, little dog, and was asking me questions about my daddy, and I smelled it and I asked him what it was. He told me what it was. And I say, let me hit it. Now, if you got respect for my daddy and you know what you was smoking and you know what that stuff do, why would you give it to me? Huh? It's been OGs that I was around when I was 12 that had weapons, that had gats, and I was 12 years old. They knew I was a youngster. And I'd be like, let me see that. They'd be like, hell no. Get your little ass on. Master G used to tell me, your friend's leaving you. That means get away from me. He respected my father, but he was one of them ones that refused to hang around with a child. Master G, he wasn't with that. He'd tell me, man, your friend's leaving you. See? I didn't get caught up in what he had going on. He wouldn't allow me to be exposed to that. Because he wouldn't want nobody to expose his child to that. And I respect him for that. But what about the OGs that gave me that water because they seen my daddy smoking? Is that what you would do? Is that what you want me to do to your son? Even if I asked you for it. We all know curiosity killed the cat. So you know, you knew better. But nevertheless, being sheepdog son, it caused me to grow up a little faster than the rest of the crew. I was supposed, I'm gonna be honest with you, my age, I was supposed to probably be a whack. I was supposed to probably be a whack. But since I'm sheepdog son, I started banging in 1985, man. At the age of 10. At the age of 12, I was already going to Elko. At the age of 13, I was being caught with weapons because of who my father was. You know, people like me, we like dinosaurs. We scarish. We remnants of the past. What I'm trying to do, man, is fix something that's completely broken, which is the morality in our communities. There is no self-esteem in the black community. There is none. We've all but murdered ourselves off. There's no self-esteem in our communities no more. For real. Every day we wake up to the news of people just dying and disappearing. Ain't nobody speaking up for the victims of our communities, man. I'm keeping it real. The victims. They have no voice in our communities. There's no self-esteem in our communities, man. And that's sad because there's nothing for our children to look forward to when all they see around them is carnage every day. They see people, little black boys like them, just die like nothing every day. That's what they see at the hands of other little black boys that look like them. Not at the hands of these so-called racists, the Ku Klux Klan, all that stuff we want to say we victimized or been victims of, been victimized by. What we've been victimized are by the choices that we make. And the choices that we make in our community, unfortunately, is to hate one another, hate on one another, to talk down on one another, to talk at one another, to not even talk to one another. That's our problem. You know, I'd rather stand over you than stand next to you. That's the curriculum in our communities. I'd rather stand over you as you being buried than stand next to you as you alive. I'd rather come to your funeral and watch you be buried than have a decent conversation with you while you're alive. See? That's our curriculum over here in the black community. And that's sad because we focus on everything but what we need to focus on. We want everybody to believe that we suffering from racial injustice, and we might, hey, look, this ain't no perfect world. They're gonna always have people that's gonna, be ignorant. But at the same time, let's look at that's talking microism, and macroism. You know what I'm saying? Let's really talk about the issue. The biggest racist in our community is ourselves. The biggest enemy of our community is ourselves. The biggest wound we suffer from in our community is self-infliction. If you really want to march, it should be in the name of the victims that's been victimized by our own people. What about them? We don't talk about the people that get killed by other black people, other little black boys, because it's a social norm and they die every day, all day. Every day, all day. You hear about youngsters dying left and right, but there's no marching. It's business as usual. It's business as usual. Even when the rappers die at the rate they're dying. One of the most dangerous jobs in this world to have now isn't to be a police officer. It's being a rapper. Being a rapper is more dangerous than being a police officer right now. I swear to God. You're 9 times out of 10 that die being a rapper than you are serving as a police in Chicago's most dangerous neighborhood. You are most likely to die as a rapper before you die as a police officer in the most dangerous neighborhood in Memphis, Tennessee. And we don't march. We don't march. We caught up in what Cardi B doing and not doing, and Puff Daddy scandals, and what Kanye West saying. We caught up in all the wrong things. But when you look around your neighborhood, what do you see? What do you smell? What do you feel? I'm going to tell you. Death. Death. Destruction. Desecration. Doom. Demise. Destruction. Devastation. That's what you feel. Don't you? Over here in Vegas, you come on the west side, it feel eerie. Because there's so many people. If you look between Martin Luther King and Owens, Martin Luther King and Cary, Martin Luther King and Washington, all up in them areas, and even them areas over there in Jackson, D Street, Monroe, all them, that's death. All them little black boys just dying and walking. All them lost souls walking through there. Cary Mini Mart, that store right there. All them little black boys walking through there. All them souls walking through there. All in that area. So when we talk about Vegas, let's talk about real Vegas and the destruction that we left behind. It was cool when we had our leisures and our Hawaiian silkies and our khaki suits. It was cool when we was doing that, drinking Cisco, listening to King T and Too Short, walking around with our boom boxes. It was cool when we was doing all that, huh? Walking around with our pistols hanging out of our pockets like we was cowboys. Huh? It was cool when we was doing that, huh? Listening to Eazy-E, drinking Old English, hanging out, beating up stuff, beating up anybody that came in our neighborhood, having shootouts at the store because y'all went to Stop and Shop and I went to Stop and Shop and we bump heads because we up there trying to get some hot wings and end up getting in a shootout. Huh? Well, you talking to a female that I'm talking to, you know how that play out. I catch you over there, you catch me over there, something happen, somebody gets shot, you know how that go. Now we at war, not because you from over there and I'm from over there, I'm from over here. It's because you messing with her and I'm trying to mess with her. And you know men like impressing women. That's why a lot of dudes didn't got killed because they want to act hard in front of a woman who go lead both of y'all. Because soon as you kill him and they lock you up for killing him, she go get with somebody else. But that's how a lot of gang wars start, behind females, and dudes quick to try to act tough behind females. See, when it come to a female, even if it involve your homeboys, look how they act. Some of your homeboys will get at you. Some of your homeboys will pop you behind a female, man, and you know that. When it comes to females, a lot of gang wars has been started. Look how many gang wars have been started over females. Whether inadvertently or advertently. Look how many gang wars have been started over females. Am I lying? Look at the worst ones. They was either drug deals going bad or females. They really had nothing to do with people being blood, cuz, or Gersons. How much of that have people died over as opposed to people dying over females? Because I know two dudes that then got into it over a female, and then that incident then made the whole gang that they the whole if there was Paru and Gerson that brought all the Parus and Gerson into something that was over two dudes. Now the whole hood's is feuding. Dudes is shooting at each other and don't really know why they shooting at each other. Pretending to be mad at the other side. Knowing damn well you don't even know that dude to even harbor that type of hate for him. But you want to be down with the homie, so you have to be OG Killer Mad Nut. So you have to have that type of mentality, knowing damn well that dude ain't do nothing to you. And we all had that. I done seen, and I'm gonna keep it real, I done seen my homeboys catch dudes slipping. And I done seen the look on their face when they get caught slipping. And I done seen my homeboys jump them dudes, man. And I'm gonna keep it real. Some dudes that got beat, man, hey, you know, sometimes you just be like, damn, man. Do we really ask ourselves why we do what we do or did what we did? Just really pay attention to that. Why did we really do what we do to each other, man? Think about it.